All praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Ha, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of great millstone, which taught us the truth, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure to the end. Shalom. Alright, so this is Jeremiah 16, verse 19. O Yahweh, Yahweh is the name of the power of Israel, my strength and my fortress and my refuge. In the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Alright, because we're going to actually have the heathen as slaves. Alright, and we're going to teach them the ways of Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahawashi. Yahawashi is the only begotten Son of Yahweh, the true Messiah, as it is written in the Holy Scriptures, which he will return and judge the world. Alright? And he's going to enslave the heathens under us, just like he told King David in Psalms. Psalms 2, verse 7. I will declare the decree. Yahweh has said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. And he was telling King David about his son, King Solomon, which was Yahawashi. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance. And they're under the so-called white man today, Esau Edom, which is the wicked. That's why all these heathen are living horrible lives under the rulership of the wicked, the so-called white man. It says, when the wicked rule, people mourn. When the righteous rule, the people rejoice. It says in verse 8, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. When we get them in slavery, we're going to bash their heads in to I'm trying to think of the word, reindoctrinate. Alright, to bring them back to the righteous ways of Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahawashi, because you got to remember, they're under the wicked, so they're committing abominations. So when they do these things, they're going to be broken into pieces. Alright? Like adultery, like eating abominations, like homosexual acts. Alright? These wicked things were taught to the heathen by the wicked, the so-called white men, including to the Israelite. The Israelite is the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, which has been scattered throughout the world in slavery. Once again, it says, thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. So they're going to die and be reborn. Alright, it's called reincarnation. Back, carnate, being in the flesh. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Which that's what we're doing. We're putting on righteousness through the Holy Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Alright? And the Lord is going to give us new bodies. Serve Yahweh with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son is Yahawashi. Pretty much acknowledge him, lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him, in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Alright, and blessed means we're going to have slaves. It says in Revelation 13, verse 10, and I'll start at 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Alright, so all these heathen had us in slavery, and so Yahweh, our power is just. So he's going to give us the heathen, and we're going to have them in slavery. Alright? And it says in Revelation 21, alright, talking about the heathen that are saved, because after 1,000 years of slavery, alright, Esau, Edom, the wicked, the so-called white man, he's going to be destroyed, because he's not going to be able to cleave to the ways of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, because he's wicked. So in Isaiah 14:21, it says, prepare slaughter for his sons, for the sons of the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. Alright? Why? Because they are the wicked, and the wicked shall not understand. Daniel 12. Now it says in Revelation 21, verse 24, and the nations of them which are saved, and when it says that they're saved, they're in slavery, and they're going to be released from slavery after 1,000 years. Alright, but there is no salvation for the other nations. It's only for the Israelites that Yahawashi comes to save, starting with the hopeful elect, 144,000, 12,000 out of each of the 12 tribes of Israel. Alright? But now, the heathen, you're going to have the elite in bunkers. There's a movie called Don't Look Up on Netflix, and it shows you that the elite, they're thinking in their mind that they're going to live forever. And in that movie, you know, they show falling stars, which symbolically mean the nuclear destruction. And as everybody else is being destroyed, they take off in a ship, and they think they're going to go start life on a different planet or something. But in fact, they're going to be preserved through the destruction so that we could enslave them. They're going to go into slavery, and we're going to breed them so that we could bring back the heathen, so that we could have slaves. Alright? And for 1,000 years, it's going to be like this. They're going to get broken down. And after that 1,000 years, the wicked are going to be made extinct, and the rest of the nations are going to be allowed to go back into their land. That's what it means by them that are saved. It says, and the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it, and the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there, because the wicked, the so-called white man, which bring darkness on this earth, alright, are not going to exist. So there ain't going to be no crime. The word crime goes back to crimson, which goes back to red. And the original red man is the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, which Edom means red. Alright? And Esau is the one that causes them there to, he makes people in a bad place, causing them to commit crime. So without Esau and the righteous laws being enforced on earth, there will be no more crime. And any sin that is committed, it will be the judgment will go forth immediately. There's a woman that commits adultery, or a man that sleeps with another man's wife. They'll be put to death publicly as a display of what will happen to them that live ungodly. Alright? So a lot of heathen are going to be trying to walk a righteous state, afraid of the judgment that they witness. That's what the whole 1,000 years of slavery is for. To pretty much institutionalize them under the ways of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi. It says, and the gates, we got that, verse 26, and they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it. So all these heathen have a specialty, and they're going to bring it into the kingdom for Israel's sake. So just think, we're only going to get richer and richer and richer because we're going to live forever. And the generations of the heathen, because the heathen are still going to die, and as they live, they're going to give us the cream of their crop. The best of their women, the best of their men for slaves, for servants, the best of their materials, the best of everything. Alright? And we're going to be the ones that are in control of distribution. And we're fair. We're just. Alright? Because of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi. So the people are going to rejoice, and the earth is going to flourish. It's not going to be a wasted land like it is today. Like America, there ain't even no trees no more. Alright? So under us, everything is going to be renewed. The earth, the heathen, alright? And everybody is going to be living according to the commandments of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi. And anyone that breaks those commandments, the judgments will be going forth. Now the Israelites are going to be perfect forever. So there will be no Israelite that dies. Alright? It says in verse 27, and there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. Alright? So the wicked, man, they have no hope. They're fucked. Alright? In fact, the elite tells you that in Revelation 6, they're going to hide in those bunkers to try to escape the wrath of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi. It says right here, verse 12, and I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal. He is Yahawashi. The sixth seal is the nuclear destruction of America. And lo, there was a great earthquake. That's from those 200 million nukes. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, which is the mushroom cloud. And the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, which these are nuclear missiles that are going to look like stars falling from heaven. Even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And when the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, which is that mushroom cloud, it's going to block out the sun and the moon, and it's going to spread out like it does, but you're going to have 200 million times that one that you see in them testing a nuclear missile. Alright, just think 200 million. It's going to shake the earth. It's going to block out the sun and the moon. It says, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. Alright, so a lot of people are going to die, especially in America. No one will be able to stand. That's why the hopeful elect will have to be delivered by Yahawashi. which this is going to happen after they make the implantable microchip, the mark of the beast, mandatory for buying and selling. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. So from Yahweh and Yahawashi, which they're sitting on thrones, which are chariots, so-called UFOs. And it says, for the great day of wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? The only ones that will be able to stand are the hopeful elect, and that's because the Lord removes us from the way of destruction. He's going to pick us up. Matthew 24, verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, and this is red letters, so Yahawashi is prophesying of himself returning. Shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, just like we read in Revelation 6. And the stars shall fall from heaven, the nuclear destruction. And the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. You gotta remember, the elite, the rich man, the great men, they're going to be hiding in their bunkers, in their submarines, in their space stations. And it shows that once again in the movie called Don't Look Up. It says, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, Yahawashi, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds, the chariots of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. And that's salvation. We're going to be gathered and put into the chariot. That is salvation. We will be saved then. Nobody on earth is saved currently because you're in the way of destruction. 200 million nukes are going to eat America and shake the world. So you're not, like these Christians, they say, I'm saved. I've been saved since 1996. They're not saved. There is nobody that is literally saved. We will be saved, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi willing, when he returns and picks us up, sending the angels to gather us, and we're going to be gathered to Yahawashi, which he's going to be in the clouds. Alright? But there is nobody that is saved right now. Because everybody that's alive on earth, we have to go through Jacob's trouble, which is going to be a time like no other, and eventually nuclear destruction. And unless you get picked up by Yahawashi and the angels, you're going to die a horrible death. It's the earthquake itself that is going to happen in reaction to the nuclear destruction of America is going to be like it's never been seen before. Like it says, the mountains and the islands, they're going to be moved out of their place. So it's going to be a very dreadful day that day. All praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahawashi, Ba'Shem Ha-Rekha Kadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which taught us the truth of Shalom, to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, and dear brothers in Abba.